Have you ever wondered how depression can wreak havoc on the brain's intricate workings? To understand this, let's first delve into the fascinating world of the brain. Stick around till the end to be well-versed in how to fortify your mind against depression. Welcome to Brain Hub. The brain has countless connections and pathways, each serving a unique purpose. It's the hub of all our thoughts, feelings, and memories. Firstly, it's important to understand, the brain isn't just a straightforward structure. It's a complex network of different regions, each with its own set of responsibilities. The prefrontal cortex, for instance, is the CEO of the brain. It's in charge of decision-making, problem-solving, and controlling our impulses. The hippocampus, on the other hand, is the memory vault, storing and retrieving our memories. And then there's the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, processing our feelings and emotions. Now, imagine a telephone exchange connecting different parts of the brain, facilitating smooth communication. That's where neurotransmitters come in. They're the brain's chemical messengers, zipping across synapses, which are the tiny gaps between neurons. Neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine play crucial roles in regulating our mood, motivation, and attention. When everything's in balance, these neurotransmitters ensure the brain functions like a well-oiled machine. They keep the lines of communication open, allowing different parts of the brain to work together seamlessly. But what happens when this balance is disrupted? Depression, however, throws a wrench into this well-oiled machine, altering the levels of crucial neurotransmitters, and the effects can be devastating. Neurotransmitters are the diligent couriers, ferrying messages between neurons. The three key players in this complex network are serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Each of these neurotransmitters has a unique role in maintaining our mood, motivation, and overall well-being. Serotonin, the mood maestro, is responsible for keeping our spirits high and our anxiety low. Think of it as our brain's own natural mood stabilizer. It's the warm, fuzzy feeling you get after a good laugh or a comforting hug. Then we have dopamine, the motivator. It's like the cheerleader of our brain, pushing us to seek rewards and pleasure. It's the rush of satisfaction when you bite into a chocolate bar, or the surge of happiness when you hear your favorite song. Lastly, we have norepinephrine, the alertness arbiter. It's like a vigilant watchman, keeping us alert and focused. It's the adrenaline rush you get when you're racing to meet a deadline, or the jolt of energy when you narrowly avoid a mishap. But when depression rears its ugly head, it throws this delicate balance into disarray. It's like an unwelcome guest at a party, turning the music down and dimming the lights. Depression can reduce the levels of these neurotransmitters, creating a chemical imbalance that manifests as the typical symptoms of depression: low mood, lack of motivation, and a general sense of disinterest and lethargy. It's a tug of war, with depression on one end and our brain's neurotransmitters on the other. And when depression gets the upper hand, it can feel like we're being dragged into a dark abyss. But it's not just about these neurotransmitters. Depression directly impacts and alters specific areas of our brain. While every part of your brain has its own role, depression acts as a shadow, darkening particular areas. The prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, and amygdala are among the most affected. The prefrontal cortex, our brain's command center, is responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and regulating emotions. When depression strikes, it's like the command center goes offline. Decision-making becomes a Herculean task. Concentration dwindles. Emotions once held in check run rampant. Next is the hippocampus, the hub of memory and learning. Depression, the uninvited guest, disrupts its functions, leading to memory issues. Ever walked into a room and forgot why you entered? That's a glimpse of what depression does to the hippocampus. Then we have the amygdala, our emotional headquarters. It's responsible for our fear and stress responses. When depression hits, it's like the amygdala is stuck in overdrive. Fear and stress become the norm, not the exception. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Our brain has a remarkable quality known as neuroplasticity, its ability to change and adapt. It's like the brain's own repair kit. However, chronic depression can hijack this process, leading to brain shrinkage over time. It exacerbates memory problems, compounds concentration issues, and makes decision-making even more difficult. Depression also messes with the brain's emotional regulation, making it harder for us to process and regulate emotions. It's like the city's traffic control system is out of whack. The normal flow of emotions gets jammed, leading to emotional traffic jams, or, in some cases, emotional crashes. So, what we have is a battlefield. On one side, we have the brain, striving to maintain its functions, to keep itself running smoothly. On the other side, we have depression, trying to disrupt, to cause chaos. Now let's delve into the intricate relationship between stress, depression, and our brain chemistry. Chronic stress worsens the effects of depression on the brain, with the hormone cortisol playing a significant role. Normally, cortisol is vital for our survival, helping us react to danger and manage stress. It sharpens our senses, quickens our heartbeat, and primes our body to take action. However, when stress becomes chronic, our body is constantly flooded with cortisol. This sustained exposure can have detrimental effects on the brain. It can disrupt the balance of neurotransmitters, further depleting serotonin and dopamine, the very chemicals we've previously discussed that play a significant role in maintaining our mood and motivation. Chronic stress also affects the brain's structure and function. It can shrink the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for memory and learning, and expand the amygdala, the region that governs fear and anxiety. This alteration not only triggers emotional instability, but also impairs the brain's ability to change and adapt, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. The relationship between stress and depression is akin to a vicious cycle. Chronic stress can trigger depression, and in turn, depression can make individuals more susceptible to stress. This cyclic pattern further reinforces the changes in the brain and exacerbates the symptoms of depression. But here's the silver lining. Despite the havoc that chronic stress and depression can wreak on the brain, it's not a lost cause. Our brain has an incredible capacity for resilience. With the right strategies and interventions, it can recover, adapt, and even grow new neurons, a process known as neurogenesis. However, there are lifestyle factors that can help support brain health and combat the effects of depression. These include maintaining a balanced diet, engaging in regular physical exercise, ensuring adequate sleep, and practicing mindfulness. It's essential to remember that seeking help early on can make a significant difference in managing depression and promoting brain health. So, how do we fight back against depression's relentless assault on our brain? As daunting as the challenge may seem, we do have a solid line of defense. The key lies in an all-rounded approach that includes diet, exercise, sleep, and mindfulness. 4 essential components to fortifying the brain against depression. Firstly, let's talk about diet. Food is fuel, not just for our bodies, but our brains too. Incorporating a balanced diet, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, lean proteins, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can boost the production of neurotransmitters and promote brain health. Next, we have exercise. Regular physical activity is like a natural antidepressant, stimulating the production of endorphins, the body's feel-good chemicals. It also encourages the growth of new brain cells and connections, countering depression's harmful effects on neuroplasticity. Sleep, often underestimated, is the third pillar. It's during sleep that our brains consolidate memories and remove toxins. Lack of quality sleep can exacerbate depression symptoms, so prioritizing good sleep hygiene is crucial. Lastly, mindfulness practices such as meditation and yoga can help to quiet the mind, reduce stress levels, and enhance emotional regulation. They train the brain to focus on the present rather than getting stuck in a cycle of negative or ruminative thoughts. Now, while these lifestyle factors play a significant role, it's also essential to emphasize the importance of early intervention and seeking help. Depression is not a sign of weakness, and no one has to face it alone. Talk to someone you trust about what you're going through. Reach out to mental health professionals who can provide guidance and treatment options. Remember, it's not about snapping out of it. It's about understanding that depression is a legitimate, complex condition that requires comprehensive care and support. The journey towards recovery might be long and winding, but every step taken is a step away from depression's grip and towards reclaiming your brain's health and your life's joy. The battle against depression is tough, but with the right tools and support, we can reclaim our brains and our lives.